Do you ever feel like you're not good at praying? I think most of us do. I know I feel like that most of the time. Well, the good news is we don't have to be good at it. We just need to pray, whether we feel like we can or not. You see, we have the very best of help available to us, the Holy Spirit. He's both our guide and our helper in prayer. Listen to Romans chapter 8, verses 26 and 27. Likewise, the Spirit helps us in our weakness, for we do not know what to pray for as we ought. But the Spirit himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. And he who searches hearts knows what is the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for the saints according to the will of God. The Spirit intercedes for us. The Spirit prays on our behalf. That's what it means when it says for. He prays for us. He intercedes for us. He's praying on our behalf. He prays for you, and he prays for me. Now, how awesome is that? But wait, there's more. You see, he always prays perfectly. You and I, we don't pray perfectly. We always feel like we can't pray. But he prays perfectly. And he prays always in the will of God. Howsoever we may stumble in our prayers, the Spirit is translating our awkward prayers into the noble and high intentions of God himself. The Holy Spirit is our helper. He is the helper. The word helper comes from a word that means one who is called alongside, that is, to help. What does the Spirit do? What does this helper do? There's several places in John's Gospel where Jesus talks about the helper. For example, in John 14:26, he says, "But the helper, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he will teach you all things and bring to your remembrance all that I have said to you." And then in John 15, verse 26, Jesus says, "But when the helper comes, whom I will send to you from the Father, the Spirit of truth, who proceeds from the Father, he will bear witness about me." In John 16, verses 7 and 8, Jesus says, "Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is to your advantage that I go away. For if I do not go away, the Helper will not come to you. But if I go, I will send him to you. And when he comes, he will convict the world concerning sin and righteousness and judgment." And then John 16, verse 13, Jesus says, "When the Spirit of truth comes, he will guide you into all the truth, for he will not speak on his own authority, but whatever he hears, he will speak, and he will declare to you the things that are to come." So the Spirit does certain things for us and with us. And Romans tells us there in Romans chapter 8 that he helps our weaknesses in our prayers. And that's a great thing. Since the Holy Spirit knows the will of God, he knows how to pray perfectly for us on our behalf. He's our guide. He's our helper in prayer. And it's important that our minds, our lives, our very hearts, our purposes, our activities are all filled with the Holy Spirit. In fact, Ephesians 5, verse 18 says, "Be filled with the Spirit." If we're filled with the Spirit, that means he governs our thinking. He governs our attitudes. And he will be the major influence in every decision that we make. Ephesians 6:18 says that we're to be praying at all times in the Spirit. Thank God we have a helper. Thank God for his Holy Spirit in our lives. As you pray, remember that he is praying for you, taking your feeble words and translating them into the perfect language that God understands. And he has his perfect will in mind. And he loves you. God bless you.